stat. Any topics of discussion during a broadcasted show is in no way the exclusive view nor opinion of the host or any Webb Radio Network staff. You're listening to the Fox Paranormal Chat on the Webb Radio Network. And now, Michael and Destiny Fox.
Wrong one.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show tonight. We have part 2 of the show we did here a few weeks ago with Ane.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be awesome. We had a lot of comments. It seemed like the viewers really loved it the last time.
Right, and we have people saying, when is she coming back on the show? So it all worked out. You're popular.
Thank you.
In the Fox community. I've had to pull the tablet back because Kobe, everything's backwards from looking.
Yeah.
Kobe had to join us because he's having difficulty getting on the podcast and staying on it with us. He was going in and out. So I said, hey, just hang out with us tonight and sit with us. So that's why everything's just off back here. Woo.
Okay. Well, I'm in my car, so.
Well, it's okay.
I forgot about the time
like
difference.
You were mobile.
So, yeah, we have. We don't use that. We don't recognize the time difference here. We don't do that. It's like only 5 o'clock here, where last time it was 6 o'clock. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big time difference.
Big time difference. Yeah. Then I got stuck in traffic and I'm like, oh, okay. How am I going to do this? So I just pulled in front of a store and got in the parking lot and I was like, all right, I'll just set up here.
Yeah, you're fine. Right there is fine. I need to ask you something before we get started. So I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I've heard an old man, which I think is a grandfather, and his granddaughter talking to each other. So I'm still hearing that, and it's only in our bedroom. I can't make out what they're saying anymore, but it's mostly him. It's mostly mumbles, but I think it's the same people. What can I do to pull this out? And, they're not talking to me directly, but I hear them. Mm-hmm. Is it maybe just like a recording, replaying, or I really want to find out about them. I really do, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll leave it alone and let them talk to each other. They don't seem to acknowledge me at all, but I hear them.
You know what? Because it's so interesting because it could be a number of things, especially like with all this other realm stuff. And it could be just like they're on another realm or another plane and an experience, or they could be like reliving a conversation that they had it before, like replay. So yeah. Or they could be just kind of communicating right there with you, and right over you basically. But I really kind of feel like they are drawn to your energy because they're showing me lighthouse for you. So, again, I'm getting light. I don't know what I got last time because I don't remember anything that I say.
That's exactly.
But
I think. Yeah.
But I'm getting a lighthouse kind of, they're showing me the lighthouse. So they're drawn to your energy and light. So, and that's kind of why they're probably communicating around you. They might even be, trying to figure out how to, connect with you. But I really feel like that's what it is you've got such a high antenna for this that you're picking them up regardless.
Mm.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, Charles, I don't know if you remember talking to him about Bigfoot last time.
Okay. No, I don't remember. Sorry.
Yeah. He had mentioned that he thinks he hears. Well, he don't think he does. I know that he hears this. He's not prone to, make up stuff. So you had told him to look on a limb for hair or something
Oh
that.
yeah, I
And on
do.
he went to a Bigfoot conference and he talked with professional Bigfoot people. And so they actually confirmed, based on his claims, that he really does have something out there. And so he's been excited about that.
That's good.
I
Congratulations
told him
on that. I think.
Yeah, I told him we were going to come out there and help him look for that because he hasn't found it yet. But we're going to go out there one day.
Yep.
And we're
Yeah,
gonna
and they're still showing me the same thing. It's a broken branch or a twig or something with some hair in it, and it looks like it could blend in with the pine needles or something, whatever those things are called, because it's long and red. So that's what I'm getting.
Well,
what does that say? I can't see. It's teeny tiny on my phone.
I don't know. It went away on me. But anyway, we got into, no evidence yet, but
Okay.
I'm
yeah, I don't see the whole
looking.
message.
I'm looking. Okay. See, I'm a psychic too. I knew that was going to be. But he's looking, and we're going to come help you one day. You just let us know one day we can get out there. Preferably when all the pollen's gone. My eyes have watered all day long. It's been ridiculous.
Yep.
I've been using.
Even with the allergy medicine, it's like it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any allergy medicine. It's like I've never been an allergy sufferer. It's just, this is new territory for me. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to find some. Do you have allergy medicine? Now, Michael is originally from Missouri. Lived there. That's not where he's originally from, but that's where I snagged him from. But there's not a lot of pine trees there and stuff. The landscape is different. And so when he moved to Georgia, I mean, they have been killing him. He's like, I don't ever remember having allergies before. Yep. So the Georgia pollens are whipping his butt.
Yep. Allergies are pain. They really are.
Yeah.
I'm on the allergy medicine with the decongestant, and it's got to be 24-hour, otherwise it doesn't work at all. But and then even that doesn't work. They're so bad.
We got into a very deep discussion that was probably out of our out of our territory, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we had ran across some stories. Actually, we were struggling for something to do a podcast on. And so we actually found some stories that we talked about where people would come up missing and then be found days later. And they would feel like they had only been gone a day or two, when actually they have been gone 3 or 4 days. Okay. And one story was about a little girl, and her father had took her and her brother swimming in a lake. And he's watching the boys and he's keeping an eye on his daughter. And then he turns around to check on the daughter, and she's gone. Okay, this little girl's still in her little bathing suit, and she's barefooted. They find her 2 or 3 days later at the opening of a cave, wasn't it?
Opening of a cave.
And she's fine. Her feet are okay. It's like 3 miles from where she disappeared. Okay, so that was crazy for us. And there were other stories. I guess what I'm asking is, how do you feel about maybe people traveling into another dimension kind of thing? I mean, that's out of our territory. I don't know if it's yours, but you did mention something about that earlier when we started talking.
Yeah, it's like people can, I've found that I've heard stories myself, and it resonates with me. It's like, because when I'm doing readings, and sometimes it's like a wrinkle in time, like they walked in and then walked back out. And it's like, and it can be as quick as a flash, and feel like a flash, or like a 30-second thing. And it can be hours later, or I guess in her case, days later. But yeah, I feel like can be like a ripple in and that's what they're saying. They're saying a ripple. So it's like almost like a wrinkle in time, or a ripple. Like it's like weird. It's but yeah, I feel like that people can definitely walk through time and definitely travel. There's been like lots of, I mean, I'm assuming that these people are telling the truth when they're doing these pictures and stuff of showing pictures of people that look modern, like dressed like us, and from like way back when, and like it's different. And I'm assuming they're not doing some kind of photoshopping, but yeah, it's really, I believe it myself. Yes.
Right. So astral travel connected in that too. So let me ask you this, and um, astral travel, is that something you've actually done, or you know anybody that has?
People claim they have done it. I don't know anybody specifically that can like really show evidence, but yeah, I've heard people can do that, and I believe that I might have done it, but like not really remembered, because one of the things that happens to me a lot, and I found, is um, when I get like a jolt, and I hear my name being yelled, and I'm woken up. So it's like I feel like I must have left my body or something. That's what some people are saying, that when that jolt and that bang that you're hearing is you going back into your body. And apparently I'm not the best lander, I guess, or something. I don't know, because it's really harsh. It like really wakes you up. It's like a big jolt and a bang, and then you hear your name being screamed, or at least I do. And then and I wake up going, whoa, what happened? Where was I? You know, what happened? So yeah, I think that can happen. I might have done it. I explained this to somebody, like, whoa, what happened here? What is this thing? And someone who said that, one of my ministers has told me that it was an astral travel experience. And I did that. I've been doing that for a long time. It's almost like a regular occurrence. I just don't remember. So I don't know if I'm blocking it out myself or what, but yeah, I've heard people do that, and it's quite popular too.
You know, I've experienced a jolt coming out of sleep,
Yeah.
and thought that I heard my name called.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and they said that's when you're going back into your body, like you're reconnecting. So that's what I've heard. So yeah, and because that's what happens, and it's like it's very similar symptoms, or not symptoms, but things that happen, and with the name being called, the jolt, and you're being jolted awake,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So yeah, and
That
it's
has happened to me.
yeah. So you and I are
Time.
probably traveling together.
You know, that sounds very similar to a lot of people has described near-death experiences that, you know, that they've described being out of their body, hovering, looking back at their bodies.
Yes. Yeah,
We've got
actually,
a
a
team
lot of my
member.
memories are where I am out of my body, and I'm looking down at myself. So, I mean, if that's, what they're considering astral traveling, and those are my memories of things, then yes, and I do that as well.
Yeah.
But these are supposed to be when I'm awake, these memories, and I'm actually doing things. So for me to astral travel while I'm awake, I didn't realize that was an issue. It was something you could do, but I guess maybe it is, if that's what it's called, unless somebody has another name for it. So,
We've got a team member that says that he knows for a fact that he died in the hospital once, and he said he remembered looking over his body,
yes,
and so that was
that's a big thing everyone does, that has had those experiences. Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people who are in a coma, they come back, and I've read some stories. They come back, and they talk about a place they were, and it's crazy. I was in a coma for 2 weeks once. I don't remember anything but being asleep, so I got robbed. So I didn't get to experience anything like bright lights or anything. I don't remember anything like that. But he said that he actually uh, remembers looking down and seeing his body.
Yep.
And then, he said, I sure am glad that I found my body and went back. Michael and I have had some deep conversations lately about other dimensions, parallel universes, and stuff. And it's totally nothing we know a lot about, but we're about to dive in it and find out as much as we can about it, because that's who we are. We want to know everything we can about a subject that we can dig up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you have your psychic abilities. Have you ever gotten readings which you think came from maybe another dimension or another parallel?
Oh,
That,
yeah. I feel like for definitely what I've gotten readings from Pleiadians, for sure. I didn't even know what a Pleiadian was, but I'm like, and I was like doing some kind of weird thing. I was like, and then that's when my one of my clients was like, no, that's the Pleiadians. I talked to them, and I'm like, oh, okay, because I was getting a description of a person, and so I don't know what the Pleiadians are. If they're like I think they're from another dimension. I think, if I'm correct, I'm not really sure, or planet somewhere. I don't know, but I never really studied the Pleiadians, but I do know that they do communicate through me sometimes to give messages to whoever is specifically linked to them. They don't give me messages all the time. I don't have anybody in particular that I know of that comes to me all the time, but there are people who have been really connected with the Pleiadians, have had messages from them with me. Yeah.
That's interesting. Sometimes we usually go into our paranormal investigations. We start out with the classic recorders, go into different rooms, and we use lots of things in between, but we always end with a portal session.
Mm-hmm.
We have the portal, and the clients like it, and we like to pull them in, and that if they have questions to ask. I've often wondered, there was one response, and I don't even know if anybody ever picked up on it but me, but it said, "I'm right here. Where are you?" kind of thing. And I swear it wasn't like, it was like, "I'm right here."
Mm-hmm.
And then a pause, and it said, "Where are you?" And I've often wondered, okay, is this a spirit I'm talking to, or are we actually tapping in to another dimension? It's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
because when they said, "Where are you?" it was almost like I was feeling like, okay, they can hear me, and they're looking for me, and they're like, "Well, where are you?" kind of thing. And I know that probably didn't make sense. It didn't come out like I wanted it to, but I've often wondered that. Are we actually talking to spirits that are there, or tapping into something somewhere else?
It could be both, actually. So depending upon where you are and what location, and also the ley lines too. I hear ley lines have a lot to do with, psychic ability, the intuition, and also things that happen from other realms, and but yeah, I really feel like I'm trying to remember the word that I was looking for, but apparently it's not coming out.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
not coming
it's
to.
like, yeah, from another dimension. Like ley lines have a lot to do with, and depending upon where you're at too. So if you were in a location near a ley line, that could, because they're saying ley line to me, so that's why I'm just going with that. So that might have something to do with it as well, and influence what's going on. That's
Yeah.
what they're telling me right now.
Well, I've got somebody that says it made sense. Amanda says it made total sense to me.
Yeah.
That does feel like almost a different dimension crossing paths.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sometimes, and Michael and I had another discussion the other day, because we were at a haunted location. Okay, I'm not as adventurous as I once was, but we stayed in a haunted location overnight. It had power. It had no hot water at all. Well, actually, we stayed the whole weekend. We stayed 2 nights there. I go, and I'm telling them, I've got to take a bath. Okay, I can't go without taking a bath. So I had this thought. Okay, there's a coffee maker So I'm going to heat water. And then I saw a big pitcher. And I thought, well, I can heat that water up and pour it all in that big tea pitcher thing.
Mhm.
And then I can take it back to the room. It was an old hospital. So there was a bathroom in there. So I'll take it back to my bathroom and I'm going to take a bath. And so I do that. But heat all the water. I take it back to the room. And then after I finish, I go outside. And so I think I still had my gown on and I had this Betty Boop night shirt on. And no, I ain't ashamed. I'd wear that. But they said that I walked down the hall with a coffee pot with water in it. And they said as I walked by the nurses station where we had set up for base camp, said I looked at them and smiled and said, I'm going to take a bath with the coffee pot. But I had the pitcher. As soon as I walk by smiling, saying, I'm going to take a bath, they look at the monitor and the camera they had set up looking out in the courtyard. They see me setting out in the courtyard where I actually was. And then when I come back up, they're like, how did you do that? And I said, do what? What are you talking about? And they said, you just walked down there. And as soon as you disappeared down the hall, we look on the monitor and you're in the courtyard. So, doppelganger, I don't know how that would tie into another dimension. I don't know about that at all. But they said it was me.
Yeah, that could definitely be that. I've never, that's very interesting. I've never heard of anything like that, but that sounds like that could be like it could be a doppelganger, but it was like right there at the same location, right there where you were at. So, I'm not too familiar with doppelgangers, except for the fact that aren't they like supposed to be like living a life that they look just like you, but they're living a life somewhere else? Isn't that like
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When Michael and I had the conversation, and we do have deep conversations, believe it or not, we entertain the idea skinwalkers. Maybe, if they can take the shape of other animals, maybe they could take the shape of humans as well.
Yeah. Anything's possible. I believe everything has a possibility. Because it's just we're constantly discovering new things, and
Yes.
so I'm always leaving it. I'm still waiting for the unicorn. So, but yeah, I'm I believe I give everything the benefit of the doubt of possibility. Definitely.
Yeah, no, Charles, it wouldn't do for me to go on a 2-day hunt where there is no running water at all. No. And he says, sorry, Destiny, I had to say that. No, Destiny has learned how to make the best of bad situations. I've actually washed my hair in a kitchen sink. And if I could have crawled up in that sink, I would have took a bath in that cold water. We've been to some places, y'all.
Yeah, we have. We've done some pretty extreme investigations over the years.
Yes, crazy things. Like I said, I'm not that person anymore. So, I'm not going to say that because, if something sounds interesting, I'm going to go for it.
But, I think it's possible. Even science, I think, I think it was Einstein. It had a writing on the subject, and he described parallel worlds or universes is like thin strings of silk. And they were all running parallel with each other. And his theory was, could they cross over a time or two, and then two parallel realities would merge together for a short time.
We're making you work on this podcast.
You are. You're making
We're
me
getting
work on
you
this.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe in that. I definitely believe that could be happening, because there's so many times that you can actually even, because I think I've even done it myself, where it's like I'm, in bed, and then, in a modern home, and next thing I know, I'm, in a different time realm, and it's me, but I'm like, different, like, but I can tell there's different clothing on me and stuff like that. And I'm a different atmosphere. And then I snap back to where I am in the in my own time that I'm living in this consciousness, I guess. But I think you can be having like different parallel lives and living different things, because I feel like our souls are energy. We're all connected, and it's just energy. And so we're just we could be doing anything. We could do several things because if you think about it, energy is, think of electricity. That's energy. And, it could be, it can be in all the rooms of the house at once, on all at once, and still be just, it's just energy. So, and that's kind of my logic for that. And that's what they're also showing me. It's like they're showing me like these things to kind of explain it. But yeah, I believe that as our souls, we can be having parallel lives at the same time. And I wonder actually connecting to them.
I wonder if that can affect you in your dream state. And the reason I'm saying this is because through my life, I have had the same dreams. Mm-hmm. One dream, I'm in this cute little, the Renaissance kind of dresses, it was cloth up here, it was drawn together, and it was tied down this front with strings. I've dreamed, I haven't seen myself in that dream, but I remember looking down. That's the type of dress I had on, and I'm walking on cobblestone streets. And as I look to the left and the right, there are hanging off the building like little tarps. They're always tanned. They're always earth. The dream is always shown to me in earth tone colors. Uh-huh. And underneath those tarps coming off the buildings, there's people selling bread. There's things hanging down. I don't know what they are, hanging down from the end of these. Like it's a marketplace. I've had this dream so many times. Then it went from that dream to, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm at an old car. I look down. I have on a man's suit. I have on men's shoes. And in my dream, I know that's me. And I'm ducking behind cars. I'm hiding from somebody. I mean, I am decked out. This looks like, at a glance, this is an expensive suit. Uh-huh. And, I know that I can't be seen by these people. I know they're going to kill me if they see me, kind of thing. And then I heard a gunshot before waking up from this dream, and I seen my feet. I'm laying down and I see my feet up. Now, I don't think I'm dead because, I see my feet, but I've had this dream a couple of times. So I'm wondering, okay, is that from a past life? Is it, I don't know. I'm just diving into this. I'm a paranormal investigator.
Yeah, but your intuition is opening up big time.
And it really is. And I'm so overwhelmed by the things that I'm being shown. And the things that I'm learning. I mean, it's overwhelming. And I don't know how to put it out in words because, I'm feeling it. I know it's on the inside of me. I just can't. I don't know enough about these subjects.
And that's why you're doing it in your dream state, because that's where the spirit has the, that's where our soul, we're at rest, and our subconscious can move freely. And that's where our souls can just kind of like leave our bodies and do what we need to do. And I feel like, yes, you're getting messages, and also you're remembering previous lives, especially, and different, but you could also be, what they're telling me here also is this, another thing that you might want to try to, see is, I feel like it could be you living, reliving or remembering your own previous lives. Because it's like, but also at the same time, since you are becoming more and more open psychically, don't forget that this could be, you're reading other people's energy as well. You're tapping into somebody else. So that might be trying to connect with you.
I didn't think about that at all. Yeah. It could be.
Yeah, because especially when I have like dreams that are like I'm living them as if I'm living them and they're me. There's been different ways that dreams work, and I found that one, I used to have this recurring dream, very similar, where I was pregnant and getting ready to give birth. And then next thing I know, I'm scared. And then I wake up. And turns out it was a recurring dream constantly. Turns out the girl who used to live in the house before, in that particular house that I was living in at that time, was pregnant, and she died at giving birth.
Oh, wow.
She was giving me her story. So that could be something that you're connecting in with a different soul. They're telling you their story.
Right.
And then, but yeah, you could also be, another thing that dreams happen is premonitions for people. You're tapping into somebody's energy and they need a message. And when you feel like you're living something and you're like, and then you come out and you have the dream and you feel like, oh, gee, let me talk to somebody about this. Typically that person, if you tell them your dream, they're going through something very similar, a very similar scenario. And so you might have an answer for them or a message for them within that dream. And that's to relay to them. And that's what I found also. Like, I'd be like waking up and I'd have a dream. And like, I dreamt of cats in a master bedroom closet at a house. And I was like, but in the dream, I was like looking for a house, and they put it in, and the house was put into a wash. And a wash here in Arizona is where water comes and runs in big, like almost like a river kind of thing when it floods. And so in the dream, the house was built in a wash. And then there were cats in the master bedroom closet for some reason. So, in that house. And so I woke up and I was like, oh, wow, I feel like talking and telling this one lady, who I really didn't even know, to be honest. I had just met her through my son. He was at school and he met this little kid and so I met the mother trying to so that they could have a play date or something. And I told her, I'm like, I had the craziest dream, last night. And for some reason I feel like I need to tell you about it. And so she's like, oh, I love dreams. And I'm like, okay, good. Thank God, because my kids have lost friends because of what I do. And because it scares people sometimes, but she was open to it. And then, so I told her my dream and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, we are looking at houses today. We're actually new to town. We just moved here and we're actually looking at houses today. And so I'm like, okay. So sure enough, because I was like, well, there's my dream. Take it for what it is. And she's like, okay. Turns out they found a house that they loved that day. And with that, they found a house and there was a litter box in the master bedroom closet. And and so when it came to the inspection, they had the whole house was like plastered, what is that, I don't know, tape and texture, whatever that stuff is, that plaster walls, right? And except for one wall was that wood paneling. And she thought it was really odd how only one wall in the house had wood paneling. And she's like, well, I want you, telling the inspector, I want you to look look behind that. There's something not quite right about that stands out to me. And he's like, oh, I can't look behind that. I can't take the house apart. So she actually pulled on it, and sure enough, it just came right off. It was mold all in that wall behind there. So yes. So it made sense to her that she's like, oh my gosh, it was the house with the cat litter box in the master bedroom closet for some reason that they found. That was the one thing that was in the house with the wall the wood paneling on that one wall, and that's where they found the hidden water problem. So, wow. But yeah, so stuff like that can happen to you. So dreams mean different things, and you just have to kind of experience it and pay attention to whoa, wow, why am I waking up needing to talk to this person? Or gee, that was kind of creepy. I feel like I died in there. What was that? So that could be definitely a message from, somebody, trying to just communicate with you, just to be heard, and they're telling you their story. So yeah, when you're learning and you're opening up and you're being receptive to it, it can be overwhelming. And so just don't overwhelm yourself. Just take it one day at a time and go, okay, well, this will be explained to me and will make sense to me in time. Just kind of let it digest. And as long as you're writing them down, you're going to find that you're going to be making your own answers and figuring this all out anyway. Because it's just, they're telling me you're going to be getting stronger with this. It's just growing and growing. So, and it's all happening now like a big old flood for you. But yeah,
it really is. And I'm thinking, I knew, for years, because sporadically I would get something. Maybe a year later, or we were on an investigation and something would come to me, and I'd be like, I wish I could control this stuff. I wish I could just go in and have this ability anytime I want to, on command. It doesn't work that way with me, but here lately, I mean, over the last, I would say, year, over the last year, it so much is opening up to me. It's kind of scary. It's overwhelming. Sometimes I can't make sense of it, or like I'll see somebody, and then I'll want to tell them something, and I'm like, I don't know them. I can't say that, and I hold it back. Except for one of my customers at work. And of course I can't at work. I'm not supposed to, but I did tell somebody. I kept looking past them, and I really didn't see anything but like, if you blow a bubble and then they've got these big hoops of things that you can sling, and there's a big bubble, the soapy stuff. And I was looking past, I kept seeing that little bubble behind them, and then, although I don't know where these words came from, I said, your grandfather's with you. And they said, my grandfather died about 3 months ago. And I said, I know, but he just wants you to know that he's always with you. And I'm not hearing these words. Okay. There's not a voice giving me these words. They're just coming out of my mouth, not pre-planned. And both these people start crying.
Yeah.
Because they knew everything I was telling them was true. There was a whole lot more to it, but just cut to the chase. I did not hear these words. They were not being spoken to me. They were coming out of my mouth. Like,
probably channeling.
I'm writing up a contract between my company and these people, and I'm telling them this, and I'm just writing like, okay. But that was crazy. But we've got a comment here that says, what about if you find yourself in a vehicle with people that have passed away, and they tell you they are going to take you somewhere? And he says it happened to him the night before his granddaughter was born.
Oh, wow.
I just wonder if, I've often heard that if you dream of a death, it signifies new
Birth.
life.
Yeah. A birth.
So I wonder if that was just, or maybe the family saying, congratulations, you're going to have a granddaughter.
Yeah, because the death represents endings of a certain way of things and rebirth, and so something new is coming. So yeah, that's definitely what's happening. Probably that's, especially when you have the birth of the child. That's right there. And congratulations.
Right.
It's interesting.
For real. I mean, this life is interesting. I mean, because I think we're all born with abilities. I think we just ignore them, which is probably what I did through the years. Well, Michael is starting to open up to some things too. Anytime we go on an investigation where maybe the person who had passed away or used to live in the house, and died, they were in the military, they connect with Michael every time. So,
That's
if sometimes I'll say, mention you were in the Army. And he'll do that. And it's like, oh, a brother here, and then they'll start talking to him and opening up.
Well, that actually happened to me on that one investigation
really
for the very
did.
first time. I've investigated hundreds and hundreds of locations, but I've never had what I would say psychic ability or any type of medium ability to communicate, other than through electronic devices like the spirit box or a portal or, a recorder. But we were working in an investigation, and the person that had passed away was prior military. And all of a sudden, I was getting bombarded. I was hearing this voice in my head constantly.
Yep.
And he was saying this and saying that and saying, he says, tell them this and tell them that.
And he was telling them too.
Yep. Yeah. That's because we all have the ability, you know, just like I like to explain it where, like Gordon Ramsay, you know, we all have the ability to cook an egg, but, you know, we're all not Gordon Ramsay kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Unless you practice and you open up and because, you know, and you practice makes perfect, listening and being open to it. Yes, it's going to happen because we all have that. We're all connected and we're all energy. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've been quiet.
He was quiet the last time.
Yeah, listening. I was listening to you.
So
he had a friend watching the podcast tonight, so he's kind of like,
he's trying to look pretty.
what's that on the corner of your mouth, Kobe?
Mama.
But yeah, I remember when that happened to me, and I think maybe could it have been the connection, the brotherhood of, you know, both of us being prior service military.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're going to connect to people who have similar energy and that can relate to them in some way. So yes, you are going, whatever you've done in this life and whatever you've experienced in this life, you are going to be drawing. You're going to be drawing and connecting with that energy. They're going to be drawn to that light, that energy that you have and that you're radiating. So yeah, you're going to like attracts like in this way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, when she puts it like that, it makes total sense to me. You know, I was trying to, when it happened, I was trying to rationalize it in my head of what was going on at the time.
I actually think on that same investigation, you described something that was in the house before we got there. And then when we got there, it was actually in the room.
Yes.
So this started even before you got there.
It's like it
hadn't happened like that since.
The spirit knew I was coming.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get readings. I'll have like clients that I don't even know. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, things are happening to me, or I'm seeing things, smelling things, sensing things, and I'm getting anxiety and stuff like that. And with that, it's like, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't understand what's going on with me. What's this? What's that? You know, and then I get the reading and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes all, you know, once you're talking to the person, you're like, oh, okay, these are messages for you. That's what I was getting. I was like so confused, and I still get confused sometimes. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? But then it all clears up once I talk to the person. So, and you know, but again, with spirit coming to you that has military experience or something, you guys already have a common thing and a camaraderie already. You know, you understand each other. So that's pretty cool, just so you know.
So what you're saying is that's kind of like the common denominator between me and the spirit at that time.
Yeah, and they can relate to you, and they
Yes.
know you relate to them and understand them.
Yeah.
Well, that's like if you're in a room full of people and you have nothing in common with anybody, and then you find that one person.
Yep.
You know, well, I've got something in common with this person. That's who you're going to talk to.
Yes.
Right.
You're not going to talk to these people who are in real estate or bank presidents and stuff like that. You have nothing in common with them.
Right.
But you got a guy over here that's been in the military, and so that's the person you're drawn to, and that's who you're going to talk to.
Yep.
So
that's
it works
break the ice.
like that in the spirit world too, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still learning all this. It's amazing.
Well, you just got to think about it. It's like they're people too. You know, they were probably here before. You know, and they're gonna just kind of like, if they're jerks in life, they're gonna be jerks in the in death.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly.
You know?
I've always said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And if they're joyful and playful here, they're gonna be joyful and playful over there. And that's where like a lot of tricksters come from, because you're like, your keys are missing or things are being moved and stuff like that. And it's like, it was most likely a child's energy because they're, playing, playful.
Right.
Or if someone likes to pick on you, like your sibling or something, you're going to probably have somebody like, doing things to you where, they're, hitting you in the back of the head or something. I don't know. Whatever happens, what siblings do to each other, they might try to do that in some form. But yeah, whatever their energy was here, it's going to be the same, if not more, on the other side, because now they're not being limited.
I have a friend, and every time I haven't told them this, but every time I'm around here, I hear the name. I can't even remember it now. I can't remember the name.
It'll come to you about midnight tonight.
Yes, it will.
Oh my gosh.
But every time I'm around him, I hear a certain name, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I just tell him, I hear this name every time I'm around you, but I don't know who it is? Do you know who this might be? What is it? If I was around him, I would hear it.
Yeah, I don't think I think some people don't want to accept, that there's an entity or spirit watching over them either. I think they have to come to terms with themselves on that.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Some people are very close-minded on that stuff.
Yeah.
I know I have somebody looking over me. I really do.
Yeah,
I feel like my ancestors are watching after me.
Yeah.
I can feel them sometimes, you just, when you're around somebody that you kind of feel them. And sometimes I do. I really do.
As a psychic medium, have you ever been in a situation where you had to go into a haunted location or a location where you're getting a lot of feedback, psychically? Have you ever had to say, slow down one at a time?
Yes. Yeah. When you get overwhelmed with the energy, yes. And you feel like you're hearing or seeing and feeling and sensing things that are all like happening at you once. You're like, you just be like, okay, communicate with me and connect with me. And on my level, at my speed here, let's hit one at a time kind of thing. Yeah. It definitely happens.
Hi, Mercedes. She has a Mercedes Benedict. She has a show on the same network we're on, the Mercedes, is it Luck? Benedict show. Awesome lady. I've never met her in person, but hi. I was going through some stuff right around Christmas and just after, and she reached out and sent me an inbox message, and just her talking to me a little bit, it made me feel so much better. So I think about that a lot, Mercedes, and I appreciate that so much. It meant a lot to me then, and it still means something to me today. I'll tell you what it was. It was 2 or 3 days before Christmas. I had been diagnosed with COVID. My puppy dog passed away. It was like everything was coming down on me. Depression is sinking in. It's Christmas. I'm going to have to stay in my room. I can't enjoy the grandbaby. I can't do nothing. And so she sent me, it is Lucky. She sent me a little inbox, and it made me feel so much better. It's amazing the little things that you do. But we are talking to Ane Shin, and she's a psychic medium. And if people want to get a personal reading from you, where can we send them?
You can send them to onae.org. That's ONAE.org.
Awesome. Yep. You guys hear that? And we have a lot of people that go back and, watch the live streams a day or two later because of work. And then they always send me a message. Hey, I did go watch that. It was good. Thanks a lot for sharing. So y'all hear this. Y'all go get a reading from her, because I promise you, she is legit. She comes with references, and, she's beautiful. She's talented. And it ought to be a sin for somebody to be that stinking cute too. And I really hate her guts because she's so pretty. No, I'm kidding. She's a wonderful person inside and out.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you, Mercedes. I appreciate that. We're family. We are family.
Yes. And I was going to say that when you were talking about how she was like messaging you and giving you messages and helping you feel better. It's, we have to we have to help each other out and lift each other up because, we're all learning and experiencing things at different levels at different times. And, I have so many people that come up to me because I'm working the Arizona Renaissance Festival right now for the past 2 months. And this is I'm going on my last weekend there, which is 9 weeks in a row. And so I'm pretty much living in my car for the most part. I've got you were talking about Victorian style or Renaissance type clothing, and that's all that's in my car is like just Renaissance clothes all over the place.
I
And
love
outfits and
Renaissance
stuff.
time. I mean, if I could go back in time, that's
Yep.
where I'd go. I
Yep.
feel drawn to that. I love the dresses. Maybe that's why I dreamed about being in one. Movies. I like to watch movies,
Yes, I'm so drawn to
like,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So was the festival good? Is it still going on?
Oh, it's still going on. I have one more weekend to work, and I love it. It's beating me up because I'm not used to being out in nature, but yes, it's beating me up. But I love it. It's great. I have a great time. If I could go back in time just like you, I would, because just maybe just a visit, because I really do like our modern amenities. But yeah, oh gosh, I have so much fun there, and it's like you're stepping back in time, in a sense, and everybody's like family there. It's really nice. Was just actually having a party with the people last night. So, but
Mercedes is in Arizona as well.
Oh, you are? Okay,
So
cool.
you guys are in the same state.
Yeah, you should come to Gold Canyon, the Renaissance Festival. Then it's fun. It's fun, definitely. And then come see me, come see my booth. So I'm by Roger.
We have within an hour of us, maybe a little less, every year they have a Renaissance Festival. And I've wanted to go every year, and I'm like, Michael, we're going this year. So that year passes, we don't go. And I want to go. So as soon as they have it, I don't think they've already had it. I haven't seen any advertisement. I really want to go.
The Renaissance,
I really do.
They've had the Renaissance already.
It's over?
It's over. Yeah.
Another year.
I went to it one year. It's really fun.
I want to go so bad.
I went to one years ago. I went to one in Kansas, and I got drunk. I drank too much ale.
Do you remember being there much at all?
Barely.
I like the honey mead. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to go. Definitely. Destiny, go. Yep.
I'm going to.
Yeah. And if you can make it out to Arizona, that's an amazing one. That runs all of February and all of March. I know there's a Minnesota
almost
one.
Over.
There's a Colorado one coming up next. I know they're leaving probably like a week or two. I heard them all talking about how they're going to pack up and go to the next show, which is in Colorado. So that'll be coming up soon. And then there's one in Minnesota, which is about the time frame, I think, of August, September time frame. So when they're doing that one. And I love the Minnesota. I've been to the Minnesota one and I love it. I bought season passes when I was living out there for a little bit. But these places are so fun, and the people there are amazing. They really are. They really get all into it, and it's fun. You're gonna enjoy yourself.
Sounds like it would be fun. I have to go. I have to find one. We have to go. We have to take them.
Okay, you should come to Arizona, my dear.
They're fun.
But it does seem like that Destiny she's drawn to other psychic mediums.
Yes.
I've always heard that nothing happens coincidentally. There's always a reason behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you and her have connected at at least two.
I've seen her a lot. I was scared to talk to her.
2 Paracons that you ended up being at the same time we were at. I mean, then you were at the Warrens the same time we were at the Warrens.
Yes. Yep.
So
yeah, we've seen her a lot. I think when I connected with her, was at the Warrens in Connecticut. Yeah. That's when there was like that.
Yeah.
When you finally
spoke and then it's like, she's my girl.
I'm actually wearing my Warrens t-shirt I got there.
Look at you.
Oh gosh, yeah. They're traveling now. They're doing a Warren traveling show now. Yep. It's definitely, they're going to be in Gettysburg, right? Isn't that like what's
right?
Yeah,
we're supposed to go to that.
I think we're going.
Oh, good.
we've got a Paracon that had to be moved from October, first weekend in October to I think it's the 3rd. It's the Deep South Para Comic Con. Did I say it right that
Yes,
time?
ma'am.
And it's in Alabama.
Ozark,
In
Alabama.
Ozark, Alabama. That's why I
Yeah.
keep you around. It's in Ozark, Alabama, and it's a fun event.
Yes,
I
it is.
love it, and I feel at home. Like everybody's like family to us there. Matter of fact, our producer Stan Fikes and his wife put this on every year, and I think this is the 3rd year, and it is truly amazing. We've got that one, and then the next weekend or 2 weekends later, we're supposed to go to Gettysburg to that one. Also, we're going to Gettysburg in July.
Okay.
Supposed to go. I don't know. I hope
I was there last July, and it was fun. So
a lot of people we know are going to be there.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard. And I guess I just want to go and hang out with everybody,
Mhm.
you know, and have fun. I think that's my main reason I want to
Yeah.
go to Gettysburg.
Yeah, you go there for fun to see the people that you're like connected to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like little reunions all
Mhm.
year long.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
really enjoyed Wisconsin when we went to that one. That was
Oh yeah. With Terry Flick.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was there at that one.
Yeah, you were there at that
Yeah,
one
you
too.
were. You were.
Yeah, that's right.
I
I went
really
to the
enjoyed
hotel
that.
room on you.
Or that.
Yeah. That's the first one I saw you at.
Yeah.
It's like we're checking in, and here comes Ane, and I mean, like, Ane is there. When she walks in, she's there. And I never got to talk to you. We were overwhelmed at that one. We actually had something bad happen back home while we were there, so we were struggling pretty much the whole time we were
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So yeah, but we pulled it off, I think.
Yeah.
And
Well, we were doing a broadcast there, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Wisconsin when Dave Schrader bombed it on us.
yeah, we were
Mm-hmm. right in the middle of
Jeremy on the
broadcasting, and he
live stream.
popped right in.
He is so
Oh,
funny.
that's cool. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is so funny.
Yeah, Dave Schrader.
Yes. Well, we went a little bit over, but we started just a little bit late. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Well, thank you.
You know,
I love it. So
we didn't have a
time.
planned topic, so it was good to talk to you. It really was. And I'm going to have to talk to you more often,
Yeah,
because you're going to have to
definitely.
help me cultivate all this stuff that's just being thrown at me that
Yes.
I don't know what to do with. So
Yeah, we could always video chat just privately. So
There you go.
yes,
There you go.
I would
Yeah.
like that. I
Yeah.
really would. I really would. Thank you so much again. And if you want a one-on-one personal reading with Ane, go to
on
where?
a.org.
Ane.org.
Ane.org.
Yes, highly
Oh,
recommended. I highly recommend her. Girl,
Thank
till next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
everybody
much. It was
watching.
great seeing you all again.
Oh, we love
Great.
you.
Good show.
Peace and love. Till
Bye.
next week.